Welcome to our weekly 8FM book club. So we are wrapping up and starting to wrap up actually with The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, which kind of feels we've been doing for a long time, right? So we're actually going through chapter 14, 15, 16 today. And just kind of a few announcements. So we're going to wrap up the book next week. We're going to do the last two chapters and then any kind of closing thoughts on the book. If anyone here, if you want to give thoughts about, if you've changed anything or new habits you've incorporated through the course of reading this book, we can have a discussion about that. So it'll be a really good discussion. And we're going to put on hold book club until the start of January, just give people some time off for the holidays. But we're going to go into choosing our new book. So watch for the poll in the group and choose the book you want to do. And then you can join us live when we start back up again in January in 2017. So thank you so much, ladies, for being here. We already had a lively discussion. We all have tons of books that, we're probably going to have a year of book club done with the books we have. But, back to A Slight Edge, it's it's fantastic. Getting into just some thoughts to start off the discussion. I just wrote some notes down, but pretty much the chapters are, chapter 14 is use your slight edge allies, and then cultivate slight edge habits, and then 3 steps to your dreams. So let me just use your slight edge allies. So he kind of lists what our allies are in the slight edge. I actually like that he summarizes at the end of the chapter. But pretty much the power of momentum, the power of completion, the power of reflection, and the power of celebration. So, celebration, I think, is one that, we do talk about, celebrating wins, focusing on the good. I like how he talked about the power of reflection and kind of that awareness. And what hit me the most, though, was in the power of completion on page 281, the truth of having incomplete tasks, that feeling of not having things done, it keeps the past alive. And I just found that really, it kind of hit home, right? And it reminded me of, there was an exercise done once by a marketer, Mark Hoverson. I remember he did this exercise a few years ago. I didn't really take part in it, but I like the idea behind it. I kind of did it on my own. This idea of, I think he called it like the $1 million a day, where you sit down in a day and you write down all the things you haven't done and you do them all. And it's like this amazing weight gets lifted off of you because you feel like you've completed these things. And I like that idea, but it's kind of opposite to the slight edge, because it feels like that's kind of the reason why we feel like there's so much to do, because things keep adding on and adding on and adding on. And it feels like this mountain is built, and it just feels overwhelming to even look at it, right? To even just think about all the things we have to do, and that to-do list just keeps growing. So I like that, as always, he just simplifies it, right? And just applying the slight edge and just doing one thing at a time. And it reminded me of the story with Terry about your trees that you were planting, right? That feeling of having all of these trees to plant and it just kept growing and growing. But then when you actually started doing it, you started getting it done. And then there's this good feeling of, this completion. So that's something that hit me hard. I don't know if you ladies want to jump out and comment on that or anything from this chapter.
Yeah, I've been reflecting on that. Yeah. And just little things that are, incomplete from years, or little things that I said I was going to do that I haven't quite got around to doing, like things like that. I've kind of, since reading that chapter, kind of going through a mental list. Actually been meaning to go and write it down, but realizing how much there's threads of energy that it takes from me and my mind and myself, kind of keeping track of those things and feeling a bit bad for not quite having wrapped those little loose ends up. But just noticing how much residual kind of energy is being kind of drained because of those unfinished things. Yeah, it's been fascinating noticing that more consciously. And I actually really like that idea you just shared, kind of just blocking out a little chunk. It's different to the slight edge kind of principle. It could be more like tick each one off, regularly, and just that might be a more slight edge way of doing it. But I think either way, I think I've reawoken to how important it is to just either find peace with not doing it and communicate if you need to or whatever, or just do it, one or the other, but find peace so it's not this ongoing draining energy. But yeah, that was fascinating.
Well, one thing I just want to cut in actually just off that before this discussion goes to different direction. What we could do is, today is December 1st, right? We're finishing out 2016. We could do kind of a challenge where we all participate in every day for the rest of the year, we complete something. So that by the end of this year, we can start the new year with a lot less pressure of, just having kind of let go of the past, right? And kind of end out the year also in this kind of reflective way, and also prioritizing what actually needs to get crossed off, right? And I think we can do a lot if we just
That's a cool idea. I love that. I wonder whether it'd be good to just for this next week or for the next couple of days, commit to actually brainstorming the list of all those things that are just sort of niggling or unfinished. So you've kind of got it sitting there in front of you as the first step, and then a sort of,
Oh, do the list in one day, Terry. You already know what they are.
Okay, list. Good call, Leslie. You're always good on that. You're like, come on, can you do it in this time frame?
Just do it. Yeah.
Just do it. So the list first, and then
because you already at least know one thing on your list.
Yeah, right? Exactly. You're right.
I know exactly what I need to do today.
Because the list can also come as we're doing it, right? But that idea of writing it and then crossing it off and just knowing it's done, and just every day doing something small, right? It doesn't even have to be big, but I bet the feeling at the end of the 30 days is going to be like, wow, years off. Because
so it'd be fantastic to
I love it.
Put a thread in. Why don't we do a thread in the 8FM and actually, encourage, a bit of end of year completion as a tribe. Cool.
Like clean your house before the new year. Clean your mental house.
Leslie, put that in the photo album.
I could.
Yeah.
We can do that. We can do that as a team, do a little challenge. It's perfect because today's the 1st, and then they can just watch the replay of this to know what we're talking about.
And then you'll get more people in on the book club. I think the book club is hard for people who work in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So continuing from that.
That's because of the time?
Yeah, because for me, it's 3 p.m. For anybody on the West Coast, it's 2 p.m, so they'd have to step away from work.
Yeah. So it's 11 p.m. here, so it's almost bedtime for me. So for Europe, it's ideal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I like that idea, and I'd say let's go for it. I love it.
Awesome.
I'll commit to doing it with you guys.
Awesome. So going from there, anything else that kind of stood out in this chapter to anyone, or the next chapters?
No, you go.
Okay. Well, I got a lot of out of this book, but it also it gave me ideas to make my daily video. So I made a video about the 3 steps to your dreams. It was very easy to follow, write down, look every day, and start the plan. So I made a video about it and put it on Facebook. So that's also an extra you get out of this book, ideas to make videos or write a blog post or whatever. So that was for me a real eye opener. Sometimes I don't know what the topic for my video of the day is, but I've got it out of this book, and I think I can make a lot more videos from these chapters, all these chapters. So just an idea, but and very easy to do. So that was my idea.
I like it. Very good one. Terry, you wanted to jump out?
Yeah, just on the power of celebration. I think it's so easy to, when we do accomplish something, to just rush on to the next thing without pausing. So just to be reminded of that, and it can be just so small, but just a moment of celebration and acknowledgement is just, yeah, it's good. It's good. Hey, Vicky, good to have you here.
Hi guys, how you going? Just off to it, so listening in. Hope you don't mind.
Of course, we love having you here.
Thank you. I'm driving again, as usually I am when all the meetings are on. So yeah, really nice listening to you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on. We appreciate you on.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. Always try and be on the I'm sort of always either on the road, picking someone up, taking mum and dad to doctors, off to work, and the list goes on, and that's that list that builds up that you think, I've got to finish that, I've got to finish that, and you think, oh, this mountain's getting bigger than me. But, yeah.
Yeah, the slight edge principle.
Yeah.
Little bit at a time.
Little bit at a time.
Cool. Thanks, guys. I'll just listen in so I can concentrate on the road.
Okay.
Cool.
Yes, that's the most important part of driving, Vicky.
Yes, please.
Yeah. All right.
Be safe.
All right.
Well, I thought it was interesting that, again, when you start that first chapter, he's talking about this tortoise and the hare, right? He just keeps talking and keeps talking about that principle. And it's not really, I thought this was good. It was a quote that I'm going to post on Twitter today. It's not that you need to go slow. That's not the point that he's making. He's making the consistency point, right?
The steady.
The steady wins the race. And I was coaching one of my members yesterday. She's like, well, I got to find a way to make money, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you stopped doing your daily videos. What's going on? Oh, yeah, nobody was showing up. I'm like, well, start doing them again. People will come. Even if it feels like people aren't coming, they do, because people have asked her, where are your videos? How come you stopped posting them? But she didn't get this immediate gratification, right? She didn't get 6 people on the phone watching them at the time she did them, so she stopped doing them, and she wonders why she's not making money, and now she's looking for a different way to make money. You need to do what we teach you to do those things on a consistent basis. She stopped posting pictures to Instagram. Why? How easy is that? That takes, and I have stopped that too, but how easy is that? It's easy when you only have 2 or 3 accounts. It's when you get 30 accounts that it's not so easy every day. So I really have to do what Lawrence taught us last night. I haven't made follow, like, or post all my pictures for me yet, and I really think it could save me a lot of time, because then I could do a block of time, like on a Sunday afternoon, and maybe do them for the whole freaking month and be done with it, right? So I really, this book has been the most important to me. The other ones I still use on a day-to-day basis. Influence, all these books that we have been reading, they matter, but this one touches my heart where I live, right? It's the one that tells me, get off your duff and do what you know you need to do. It's moving me towards consistent action, and it's the most helpful, I think.
Yeah, this is that kind of thing where you can pick up and just open to any page, any chapter, and just have like immediate kind of reminder, right, of the simplicity of it. And it's like that kind of, it's like that kick butt kind of thing, but it does it in a way where it's like small, but it's like this pinprick that you can't ignore, right?
Right. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love that, Leslie. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I'm doing the same. I'm going to be posting through Follow Liker too. It's going to be so much easier to do that. So yeah, it's just.
I've just had some problems that I have to work out, because sometimes when I schedule them, they don't post, and that's why I haven't done it regularly, because I haven't figured out what I've done wrong. It's probably because I'm using a Mac computer on a Windows device, right? And so I'm using the wrong copy paste or whatever. But I mean, how long would it take me to figure that out? 3 days, maybe? You know, if I did it every day, I'd figure out my problem, I'm sure.
Oh, in one day, Leslie, one day.
Well, it's kind of hard, though, to schedule that many pictures in one day. But yes, in one day, I could do a lot in one day.
You know, for me, I like too that this is page 323. I lose, like, I forget which chapters they come from. I
You
guess
have a really long book. I don't even have 300 pages.
Well, because I have it on my iPad, so I have the ebook version. So it's
page
probably totally
181.
different. So I probably shouldn't even quote the page because it doesn't even, because we all have different copies. But I like the idea, you know, the power of a plan is not that it will get you there. The power of a plan is that it will get you started. And I like this idea that, you know, it's just something to get us going. And then I like how he goes into this really long thing of, you know, the whole thing about the Germans. I was looking for Germans, and how he went through, if he had made that plan from the beginning, just the way it worked out. It's like you could never predict, right? We have so many stories, all of us, we have experience where we plan something and then it just changes completely. But the most important is just to make the plan to get started, right? And to actually do it. And yeah, so I like that reminder, because sometimes we can get so fixated on something where it doesn't work the way we want, but there's always a way that it can work. Like, for example, with Follow Liker, right? Like I've had some interesting Instagram issues lately, and it's been frustrating, but it's also, when I take a step back and look at it, I realize there's a different way I can do something, or there's something I see that I didn't see before. And so not being so attached to the method necessarily, and having that openness of shifting the plan can really help to also alleviate the stress. Sometimes the stress involved with wanting one particular way to work is just too much stress. So this spoke to me. Alicia, did you want to jump out with any thoughts about, I know we have different copies, but any thoughts on just what's coming up for you? I don't know if you can talk right now.
There had a lot of quotes. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. It had a lot of quotes, I agree, that were in this chapter that harness those different points of each. I guess they're kind of like laws or something. I don't know. Like the power of completion. There is I think each one had a little quote or something that stuck out to me. I guess I need to get that book. I've been trying to research this book too. All You Can Do Is All You Can Do, But All You Can Do Is Enough by Art Williams. Have you looked for that book? I've been trying to find that book because he recommends that book and this copy. And then back on Power of Momentum, there are several quotes, like he quoted from Mary Kate Ash, give yourself something to work toward constantly. You know, there's just lots of quotes that really stuck out. And I'm like, I'm going to write all these quotes down. Oh,
it's breaking up a lot.
I have it down, and I think that's my challenge right now, is to actually.
Is Alicia breaking up, or is it me?
It's like totally frozen.
I think she's frozen.
Okay. Sorry, Alicia. And now it looks like you're muted. I didn't mute you though, but I was breaking up. Yeah, I know. For me, I love quotes, so I like that he actually puts quotes in because we can use it in our marketing.
Right?
Make images and stuff out of them.
These quotes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got a whole month worth of great content.
Yeah.
The next chapter, Cultivate Slight Edge Habits. Like he goes through each one in detail, but just like it's show up consistently with a positive outlook, be prepared for and committed to the long haul, cultivate a burning desire backed by faith, be willing to pay the price, and do the things you've committed to doing even when no one is watching, like having slight edge integrity, he calls it. So, you know, just, that you're committed to that journey. completely internally, not externally, and that you've committed to that in integrity, whether someone's watching or not, or noticing or not, or any of that. I thought he really distilled it really well, and be willing to pay the price. Yeah, sort of, that it. I also love that quote. I don't know where I've even heard it for the first time, but something like, "Success is not convenient, but neither is struggling or being broke or whatever the opposite is for you." So it's sort of like, the slight edge stuff, or moving towards your goals and dreams that really matter, it isn't necessarily convenient, and there's a price to pay for not just lying around on the lounge all day. Like it's a like you have to sacrifice doing that to get the other to take action on these things, and just that willingness to show up each day consistently and let those other things go. Be willing to pay that price of letting some things not happen in your life that you might find very comfortable or something. I know, I just thought I liked that. The integrity of it and the willingness, I think, were important.
Yeah, I like that. It's really his honesty, right? It's the honesty in which he writes, and it's stuff that we all can't deny, right? It's just, he's so, like, there's no fluff to it. There's no hype or anything to the way he writes this, that I think that's why it's hitting home so much for all of us, because we know it's true, right? And he says the things that maybe we sometimes don't want to admit to ourselves, or even the fact that, he repeats himself so much, right? It's easy to do and it's easy not to do. And it's so true. We can convince ourselves of these big reasons why, or the secret over there or something, but it's never that. It's just something so simple that, like Terry, like you're saying, it's like, we know the truth. It doesn't even matter, if other people see us do it or don't see us do it, right? It doesn't matter. We know. And it's something that we have to just be honest with ourselves. So I know because I have the ebook version, I'm definitely going to get a copy of the book. This is one of those books that I want to have around, just to, if ever feeling down or feeling unproductive or something, you can open a page on any chapter and just get that kind of little push, that reminder, that it's also not that hard, right?
Right.
That's what I like about this, because it's not this monumental thing in the way he writes it. It's the small stuff, right? It's the little things, and it's just constantly doing them. So that's why I love this book. So we're gonna wrap up here. So again, what we'll do is we'll wrap up the book next week, and then we'll take a little break and then start up again in January. And and I'll post in the group. So officially, we'll do this in a 30-day. How many days is in December? 31. 31-day challenge of crossing off just small things every day from our big to-do list.
Or just our unfinished business, unfinished.
Right. I like the unfinished.
Because it doesn't need to be, I don't think it needs to be unfinished stuff in terms of our to-do list or our business necessarily. It's just anything that's still draining our, Like it might be a conversation that we still have to have. It might be we borrowed something and we had to get that book back to them and we just haven't got around to it, all of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, any part of life. Any aspect.
Life things. Yeah.
I like it. I think I would actually want to make this a tradition.
Yeah.
It's a great thing. I love it.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to end out the year.
Are you great with graphics?
Sorry?
If you're great with graphics, you could find this great graphic or make this great graphic about cleaning your mental house or whatever.
Yeah, I can do that. And I'll take a quote, I think, from that specific part to explain it a little bit, and I'll drop in the replay of this, and then people can get on board and just, ask for people to commit, ask for a public commitment from people, and then so.
Because we learned and influence how powerful that is.
Yep. And it'd be good for us to go in and in the comments, when you finish something, go in and say, I just ticked this off my list, and
just inspire each other with 31 days. Here's what we did on day 1. Ting. Awesome. I love that idea, Terry.
Yeah. Yeah. So we keep each other accountable too.
Yeah. Sure.
And if anyone gets off the wagon, it'll keep coming up in the thing. The feed. Everyone gets notified, right?
Yeah.
Someone comments. It's a good reminder too.
Right?
So awesome. So thank you so much. I love our discussions. Absolutely love reading this book. And if you're watching, if you have any suggestions or feedback or anything, you can comment on the replay. And hope to see you on our last 8FM Book Club Zoom this year next week. So see you on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Thank you, ladies.
See you.
Thanks.
Bye.